It is now March. I will now allow myself to take a moment to talk about Halloween Horror Nights. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rick here, and yes, we will talk about Halloween Horror Nights. A speculation map came out a couple weeks ago, but that was in February. I at least wait until March to start talking about Halloween Horror Nights, but the speculation map is from Horror Night Nightmares. That's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. I think they might have a website too, but I'm only familiar with them on Facebook. But they have put out their speculation map version 1.0, and I can guarantee you this map is at least 10% correct. I can do that because they have a Chucky house listed on this speculation map. And of course, Universal Orlando has already announced that there will be a Chucky house. Therefore, I can say this map is at least 10% correct. Now let's get into the real speculation. They have 10 houses. As I said, one is Chucky. The other houses they are speculating would be Universal Studios Monsters. They are saying this house will be occupied by Phantom of the Opera and Dracula. That doesn't really excite me. Those two classic monsters are not my favorites. I'm not a fan of Phantom, and really, I'm not too big of a fan of Dracula. My favorite classic monsters are Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. So, and even like, you know what, if they were to do, and I already see like some comments, there's already some pushback, people saying, oh no, not another classic monsters house. And that tends to be the case. Usually when we hit about the third iteration of a house, people start pushing back like, oh no, not that again. I don't care what it is. If it's like a great TV series like The Walking Dead, they're very excited for the first time that house comes. They're excited pretty much for the second time. But the time they get to a third house, even with like Stranger Things, they get to a third house of one IP, there starts to be a little pushback, a little fatigue. And I've seen some comments to that regard with a Monsters house. But to me, I would love, if they were to do a Monsters house, I would love Creature from the Black Lagoon. Universal Creative, when they do the haunted houses that are like water related, underwater, or somehow nautical themed, they are fantastic. They're just beautiful sets. And of course, Creature from the Black Lagoon, that would be nautical and you could use some underwater stuff there. So for me, man, if there were to be a classic Monsters house, I would absolutely love a Creature from the Black Lagoon house, considering just how awesome Universal's creative is with those nautical themes, underwater themes. So that's one house they are predicting, Phantom of the Opera and Dracula. And then the next house on the list here is The Last of Us. As I peruse the list of 10 houses, I do think The Last of Us house would probably get the most people excited. So let's move on to a couple of original houses. Those first three, Chucky, Monsters, and The Last of Us, are intellectual property houses, IP houses. They are now projecting for this fourth house, an original house, Krampus. Krampus as a house, an original house. And then the next original house is just like a sailor anchor, like a ship anchor. So there's no name attached to this. But as I previously said when talking about the monsters, Universal does awesome nautical or underwater themed haunted houses. So I'm assuming this little ship's anchor is just to represent another nautical house by Universal Orlando, which the creative team, hats off to you. Those are just the best as far as like visually stunning houses, those nautical themed houses. But like I said earlier, I would like, if it's going to be a nautical themed house, combine it with classic monsters and do a Creature from the Black Lagoon. That, in my opinion, would be an amazing house. But they are projecting Universal to do another nautical themed original house. Moving on down the list here. Now this one I think is going to be, if I had to place a bet of which house would actually occur, that's a projection house. We already know about Chucky is for sure. But as far as the other 9 that are projections or predictions, Blumhouse, Megan, and Insidious. So kind of a combination house. They've done those a few times already. But since the movie Megan is a Universal and Blumhouse movie, that is, I would feel safe in placing a bet that that prediction would actually occur. And the thing is, I just watched Megan a couple nights ago. It's on Peacock. So I watched it there. My opinion on Megan, it did not blow me away as far as like a horror movie or even a scary movie. It was kind of an uneven movie for me. Parts of it, there was a few parts I really did enjoy, but most of it was kind of like, meh. So, while I think this house is very likely, it's not one that really gets me excited. And that may be just because the character or the AI robot, Megan, I didn't find her to have a lot of personality. So when it comes to like possessed or evil dolls, I would give the nod to Chucky over Megan. The next house they have listed, and again, this is Horror Night Nightmares on Facebook. This is their speculation map. They have Lair of the Banshees. So my first thought when I hear Banshees, I think of Celestine Warbeck and the Banshees. But no, it would not be related to that. But an original house called Lair of the Banshees. Seems like a kind of a generic type of haunted house. Moving on to the next original haunted house. This would be something done by Universal Creative. So when I mention IP houses, that is something that is an existing intellectual property. So like Chucky already exists. The Last of Us. So the original houses are made in-house by Universal, and it is Devil Dogs. So maybe they would kind of repurpose some of those props they had last year in that Chupacabra house. Moving on, two more houses to talk about. One looks like an IP house, an intellectual property house, and another original house. Now, this other one they have listed as an IP house, an intellectual property. It's a guitar with a lightning bolt. Now, I've read some comments. A lot of people are guessing, oh, that could be Stranger Things, because of last season, all the guitar playing in that TV series, that Netflix series. And then no one is saying the lightning bolt represents Harry Potter. And neither am I. I just thought I would throw it out there since people are just guessing on the symbols. It's that band who played at the Yule Ball in the Harry Potter series. But seriously, so Universal, they've been trying to do some of their the artists they have signed to their record label. They did The Weeknd last year, and the rumor was before that they tried to do Billie Eilish. So this could be someone from their record label. They have a very extensive list of artists, so I don't know if this could be someone like an AC/DC or a Metallica, or Rob Zombie had he actually had a Scare Zone a few years back, so could maybe a Rob Zombie haunted house. I'm not exactly sure, but you guys let me know in the comment box below. What do you think this guitar with the lightning bolt is? AC/DC, Metallica, Rob Zombie? Give me something else. Some people, like I said, are guessing Stranger Things. We would have to see how negotiation goes with Universal and Netflix for that. I heard they tried to do that last year and negotiations sort of fell apart. But maybe that's back on the table. I don't know. And the last original house is just a bunch of symbols. At first, I thought maybe these were like some Asian symbols, but I don't think so. I think this could be some type of like a Wiccan house, witches and things like that. There was a Scare Zone in San Francisco. The name of that Scare Zone escapes me right now, but they had some symbols like this on their. Remember, I called her like Possessed Daphne. She was a redhead, sort of wore some purple. But I think they had some symbols like this on that set out there in San Francisco. So this could be like some type of pagan or Wiccan house, in my opinion. Or that's my guess. But there we have it. Those are the 10 houses that Horror Night Nightmares. I will leave a link to that Facebook group in the description box. These are the houses they are predicting. Chucky, a classic monsters house, which would feature Phantom of the Opera and Dracula. The Last of Us, Krampus, a nautical or sea-themed house. Again, I would love to, do a mashup, do the Creature from the Black Lagoon. But back to the actual speculation map. Blumhouse, Megan and Insidious, Lair of the Banshees, Devil Dogs, Guitar with a Lightning Bolt, and some Wiccan symboled house. A Wiccan. I'm calling it a Wiccan house. You guys let me know what you think those symbols mean and what it could be. But there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for taking a moment to talk to me about Halloween Horror Nights. And as always, don't miss the magic. Don't miss the fun. Click that subscribe button.